know, there is another point you could make where you don't even need the nicest gear in the entire world to just start to build a fan base, right? You could just start with a $500 camera, film, and always just try to get the best use out of your equipment, right? So, like, if you have, whatever equipment you have, try to do the most you can possibly do with that stuff. And video stuff's cool too. So, like Skyfall, we wanted smooth shots to go around the drums and go toward the vocals. So we just went to Home Depot, grabbed a dolly with 4 wheels, put a piece of plywood over it, took our tripod
and weighted it
like
a
down,
sandbag,
put the camera on top, and we just pushed it around.
And it acted like a
ghetto,
like a cart,
but it worked.
We're all about doing anything DIY.
No one can see how you film the video, right?
It doesn't
but if
matter.
the footage looks cool, it looks cool.
I also think it's cool for fans to see progression in your art too. So I think a lot of our fans enjoyed watching it, they were growing with us almost.
You always want your next song to be better than your last. You always want your next video to be better than the last. So if you somehow are trying to make your first video the
perfect
best you could ever make it, then there's no room to improve, right?
And you're going to be stuck in a room after that with a headache, just oh no.
And you're never going to release anything because you're scared that it's not perfect, right? I kind of am a perfectionist, but there just comes a point where you're like, all right, this is cool. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to commit.
It's like if I make any more changes, I'm just going to...
You kind of start to mess it up.
Let's go back and just keep editing
that always
all
happens.
The songs. And
that's what he had a problem with mixing the last record. He was there. I would leave at 3 a.m. and I got to the studio the next day, and he left 2 hours before that. And he's like, yeah, I can't figure this out. Can you listen to it? And I'm like, dude,
yeah, you start to psych yourself out.
Sounds great.
It's kind of funny.
Especially if you're sitting there mixing something for more than 4 hours, it just sounds like shit after that.
Mixing especially.
Yeah.
The more it's a puzzle. So the more plugins you put on your tracks, or the more effects you add, or the more tracks you add, sometimes you're just making it harder and harder for yourself to figure out why it doesn't sound good, right? So it's always a puzzle. You're adjusting. If you have 6 plugins on every track that are kind of unnecessary, you're never going to be able to figure out what the problem is. And a lot of people do that. And some people look at my project on Pro Tools, and they're like, really? That's all you have on the tracks? I'm like, well, yeah, that's all I need, really, right? So you want to try to keep that stuff pretty minimal, I guess.
But I think even when starting a band, if you guys have one already or are starting one, I do think it's important to kind of even have a member learn Photoshop or something like that. So we do all of our own artwork. We'll do most of our t-shirt designs, every banner on Facebook, YouTube, everything like that. We just make, because it's hard to rely and reach out to somebody else to be like, all right, I need this done in I don't know, tonight if we're releasing a song, and then they take forever to do it. Then you have to pay him. When again, I learned Photoshop on YouTube. He taught me a few things, but you can just sit there and learn it, and then you just don't have to outsource anyone else to do.
And you probably watched 3 or 4 videos?
3 videos.
And then you knew all the basics.
And then sometimes I'll run into a problem where wow, I don't know how to mask this or whatever it is. And I just sit there on YouTube for 45 minutes and then figure it out and then move on. So we have friends that oh, I wish I could learn how to do this. And then they're like, yeah, maybe one day. I'm like, dude, just go to YouTube.
You can learn that right.
You can learn it right. By the time that you just said, I wish I could learn that, you should have already had it typed into YouTube and figured it out pretty much. But I think that's the most important part about being in a band and kind of creating a business out of it. That's the only way that you're gonna, at least if you want to do everything yourself, kind of like how we're doing it.
Yeah, when you have a record label, they do kind of cover a lot of that stuff,
but they'll take 95% of everything that comes in. So that's
yeah,
also
if you want to make
fun.
money, you kind of have to not have a label either. We don't even have a manager anymore. After we stopped working with our last manager, we were just like, should we just self-manage ourselves too? And so now we just do everything ourselves.
That's a lot of work, but
it's kind of cool because everyone your band works with, every other company, every say Warped Tour, everyone on Warped Tour that runs this show has to talk directly to us, which is good because
coming into Warped Tour, we knew everybody in
what's going
production, we know everybody. So if we have a problem, we just go straight to them, not email your manager. Oh, can you please email this person? So then maybe they can come find me and talk to me. It's it's the era of this music industry and scene is getting so far away from that. We have a lot of friends that are firing managers now also. There are important reasons to have a manager. I think more of a day-to-day manager that will answer the emails and do little stuff like that. But in the end, your band is going to know what is best for your band, and you're going to know what your fans want to hear or when they want to see it or whatever it is. So like trying to leave that in someone else's hands is like, it's just not realistic, and it's not important really.
We noticed from being on a label, you kind of just assume they're going to do everything, and then you sit back and you do nothing. So then it's this weird thing. You're relying on them because that is their job to make everything happen. But what if they don't do it? So then you're just doing nothing. They're doing nothing,
And then
you don't
nothing gets done at
you
all.
get you stay the same. Yeah, you did get no more fans. And so that was, I think, the biggest problem for us, because I feel like that happens to a lot of bands where they work so hard up to the point they get signed, and then they just get signed, and then they just like step back. But like it's still your thing. But then it's weird because, okay, you see the label taking 80% of the money you make. Why are you going to keep... It's a bummer, but why are you going to keep working? There's not a ton of motivation to just keep working as hard. Obviously, you love doing it, but it's like... Yeah, like, so last probably couple years of our record contract, our label tried to get us to do more YouTube videos, but like for their channel. Their YouTube channel. We're kind of like, okay, I mean, I don't get it. So I have to buy a camera, I have to start doing videos, I have to learn all this stuff, and then I just put it on your channel and you make all the money off it. It's just kind of like, I'm not really sure how that makes logical sense to me. So it just kind of never happened. And they were like, oh, maybe we'll buy you a camera. We're like, okay, well, let us know. Then they didn't. So, you know what I mean? It's just this thing.
So then we
like,
bought one, we put it on our YouTube channel, and they got
That's
really fucking
insane.
mad at us.
I want to do videos. I'll buy a camera. I'll put it on our channel, and I'll get more fans and spread it around and make money off it. It seems more practical, but it is more work, right? So
And that was kind of another thing with them. So you're kind of in the YouTube world, you kind of understand that. Like, Epitaph Records is who we were signed to. They thought everything needed to be on their channel because they have 1.2 million subscribers, whatever it was at the time.
yeah,
But we were looking at their channel, like, they just have a bunch of, like, punk bands and a bunch of subscribers that would never give a shit about an Our Last Night song. So, like, yes, they have a lot of subscribers, but none of them would care. So, like, I get what they were saying, like, oh, you'll want to put it on our channel. Like, a lot of people will see it. But we would post something and it would get, like, 50,000 views, or not even in the first day. And we were like, okay, that doesn't really make sense with how many subscribers you have. We then did an acoustic version for our song Fate, I think. And we put it on our channel without asking them. And we did it a week after that video went on their channel, and our video on the first day had more plays than theirs did in a week.
Right.
Just because our fans were going to our channel, it had way less subscribers. We only had 50,000 subscribers. But those people gave a shit about our band, not the 1.5 million punk kids that didn't care about it.
and then also, say someone says, check out Our Last Night. They go check out, say, our newest music video. They watch it. Then, if your video's on a record label's YouTube channel, yeah, we'll turn this up. Rocking hard over here.
Alright, I think that's a little better.
Yeah, that's good. So, say they watch our video, and then what video are they going to get shown next? They're going to get shown a different band's music video. That's the worst thing that could ever happen. Say they liked our first music video. I think to make a true fan, they probably need to see 2 or 3 music videos to really, really remember you, right? So the advantage of having your own really big YouTube channel is that anyone that finds one of your videos then gets forwarded on to the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth until they feel like not watching anymore. But that's the best thing you could do, is then they've just seen all your content, not like you're now like, oh, I love this band, not like, oh, I saw that one video one time, I think I've heard of you type thing, right? So that's our biggest gripe with the whole record label YouTube channel thing, when really they could just start YouTube channels for all their bands and claim the videos. They could still make the money off of it, but you want to build, I think, as a band, you want to build your brand, and a YouTube channel is the best way you could possibly do that, I think, because it's how everyone finds everything. I mean, if someone tells me to check something out, especially a band, I go straight to YouTube. If someone tells me to check a movie trailer out, go to
I go
YouTube.
straight to YouTube.
Everyone goes to YouTube for everything, so that's where you want to put yourself out there the most. And if you're looking to get into YouTube stuff, the key is consistent content. And we've gone to like a few YouTube seminars, like with people who work at YouTube, and they say that's the best trick to get like your followers or your subscribers start to grow exponentially if you post once a week. So if you're consistent, you post on the same day. We're not that great at that. We try to just
It's hard. It's hard to
for
post
us
once
because
a week.
yeah, and then we go on tour, and it's like, all right, well, shit, I can't post every week. So we just try to do as much as we can, right? So that's the first goal. Just post to YouTube as much as you possibly can. If you can pull off once a week, that's awesome. If you can pull off once a day, like some people, those are the fastest growing YouTube channels. When you see someone posting once a day, those channels blow up. They get to 1 million subscribers so fast. Music, it's a little hard because there's so much work that is involved to making a song or recording something. I can't imagine doing a music.
But say you did want to do it with music. Say you wanted to do one video a week. What I would suggest doing is creating like 15 videos before you launch your first one.
Get a head start.
Get a head start.
We
So
tried. We tried the once a week. Didn't do that.
then it's
Then
so
you just
hard.
fall behind
Yeah.
so fast.
So what you have to do is create those videos ahead of time, and then you have that 15 weeks pretty much of like time to continue on working on your next one, the next one, so you never fall behind. So like that's what I wish we did do. Maybe we'll try that eventually, but that's definitely what we learned would be the smartest approach to doing something like that.